Well, I feel like making a video right now. It's just how it is. Sorry. I have to create. I'm a broadcaster. I'm a professional. So YouTube is for 14-year-olds, sadly. I need an adult channel like Sirius Radio or something. Then I can say all the naughty words I want. And talk about things that someone over 18 years of age can listen to. So I'm still moving. So, hey, there's a little bird there. Hey, there he is. Cute little bird. He's confused. Doesn't know where to fly. That's like a lot of people. This video, of course, brought to you by Miller High Life and Burger King, where John Lovins went to after he did some gardening. See, I can't even do my show. Let's see. Let's see if we can get the old guy on the phone. He's my favorite guy to call. The problem is, he's not loud enough on the phone. It's a pain. I'm gonna have to get him to speak up.
Hello.
Hello, John.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Happy Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
So, people have been watching our content.
I didn't know that.
Well, what do you expect? I'm David Lovins.
Yeah, I should have known.
What I want to do is get you louder on the phone.
Oh, okay. I'll speak loud.
Because it's a little soft on the way I'm recording. I pick up my voice fine, but I need some more volume from you. I don't know how to do it on my end.
Well, I'll just speak louder, David.
All right. Because my camera audio is really good. So,
Right, I believe it.
so if you just speak loud, then it's going to work.
Okay, send $59.95 to John Lovins. No problem.
Well, you really ought to say that.
Yeah.
Because if people send you $59.95, then you could send me like $12.27.
You figure, huh?
Well, that gives you like 75%.
Whoa. David, I didn't know you were that generous.
I'm not a greedy bastard.
Okay.
So, Grandma Lovins had this thing where she thought you'd be a good broadcaster.
Yeah, she did.
All right. So, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because you have the gift of gab.
Yeah.
So, you know what that is.
I do. I was in Ireland.
Yeah, you were.
Those people gave me the gift of gab.
No, I think you had it before that. That's why they sent you to Ireland, because you already had it.
Well, I disagree. I might have had it dormant inside, but not activated. See, and one reason I got in the car business after all that is because I was still an introvert. But you know what? It was the car business that finished the job.
I wish we weren't on YouTube, because then we could talk about things for people over the age of 18.
Yeah. Well, are we on a private line, or are we being recorded now?
No, I'm recording.
Good.
Anytime I since you gave me permission, anytime I call you and connect with you, yeah, it's live and on the air.
Okay.
We're ready to.
Sounds like we're on. I mean, last time, all of a sudden the phone went dead, and I go,
Oh,
David has been kidnapped. Where's David? He's in the back of a trunk with duct tape on his mouth.
okay. My phone died because I didn't expect you to pick up, and then we had a 17-minute phone call, and my phone died. That's all that happened.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you went missing. I was ready to call 911. So I'm glad that you're okay. You know.
Who's gonna kidnap me, John?
Smurfs.
You know who was the voice of Papa Smurf?
Who?
You're such a comedy legend. Jonathan Winters.
Oh, wow.
So,
Amazing.
you know, Robin Williams revitalized his career, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So then after Jonathan Winters was on the 4th season of Mork and Mindy,
Yeah.
then Jonathan Winters became a viable name again.
Again, yeah.
And they put him as the voice of Papa Smurf, which he did in the cartoon for 8 years.
Whoa.
And then for the CGI live-action Smurf movies,
Yes.
he did those too.
Wow, that means that Robins did him a favor.
Well, Robin Williams really liked Jonathan Winters.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Somewhere I have a Jonathan Winters album from the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to it in the last year. He does these long-winded stories.
Yeah.
But, now you remember the movie It's a Mad, 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 Mad World?
It's a mad, 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 mad world. Yes.
Yeah, it's 5 Mads. They were thinking of doing 6, but they did 5.
I see. So it's a mad, 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 mad world.
So Jonathan Winters in there, and it's the funniest thing he ever did in his life. He's a truck.
What?
You saw that movie, right?
Of course I did.
All right, so there's a scene where he's riding a little girl's bike because his truck broke down.
Yeah.
And there's another great scene. My jaw dropped. I couldn't believe it. Where single-handedly he destroyed an entire gas station.
I remember that.
And I was watching that as a grown adult, and I just couldn't believe how good that was.
Yeah.
Let's see, that movie was...
You've always been one for total destruction, and I am.
Let's see. Someone's last role was in that movie at the very beginning. Jimmy Durante's last role.
I did not know that was his last role.
Because he's the guy, and the car rolls over, and he's the one that tells everyone in the movie that there's $350,000 buried underneath a big W.
Right.
That was Jimmy Durante's last film role.
Wow. That is cool.
So why do I know this shit? Well, it's because I look it up.
Well, you mean you're a trivia maven?
Well, it's not trivia. I'm a writer, so Stephen King will tell you that like 75% of writing is just knowing about shit.
That makes sense.
Because once you know it, then you can write about it.
Yeah, that's why they used to say in the 40s, Write what you know.
Well, I think they said that during the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and so on.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you.
And you know who contacted me within the last year or two? I've talked to you about it. Sam Eisenstein.
Sam Eisenstein, one of my favorite writing teachers.
Yeah, he's the best. He's still alive in LA, and I read some of his material. You know, the Epic of Gilgamesh is over 4,000 years of age.
He wrote about Gilgamesh as a commentary.
Well, so it's an ancient story, and he did his own thing with it. He's like,
Did his own version.
I don't. I read some of it. I mean, Sam is a good writer.
Yeah, he did. He did. Great job, for sure.
I used to love going to his class on Monday nights between 6:30 and 9:30. I'd leave the Onyx Cafe, bicycle down to LACC, take Sam Eisenstein's class for 3 hours.
Right.
That's what I was doing when I wasn't at Grandma's house.
Yeah. Well,
I,
I was there a few years before in the same class, so it's interesting that we shared him as a teacher posthumously. But he's still alive, so.
he's still alive. He's got to be like 89 or 90 right now.
Ought to be. Yeah.
I mean, he's not dead. He's still alive.
Yes. Yeah, he's a well-read man.
So what'd you learn from him?
Well, I was interested in the origins of books. I was interested in what I've later developed is called the universal knowledge grid. Okay? And it took me 30 years to write. But one time I asked him a question, should you study the greats? Which greats should we study as writers? And he said this: don't go to the greats only, but go to where the greats went to get their knowledge. Okay?
Yeah.
In other words, the ancient stuff of olden days. So I did. I found out that Shakespeare had studied, knew perfect Italian, and he studied Plutarch, who was a writer of Greek plays. But the Romans themselves had the Latin versions of those plays, and so when you read about those plays, you get an inkling of where Shakespeare was inspired.
Okay, can I say my comment on this?
Of course.
All right, let's put it into a context that modern American people can actually understand. So you got Stephen King. So what Sam says was, well, don't just read Stephen King, find out what he read growing up.
Yeah.
And the answer to that would be Stephen King read a lot of H.P. Lovecraft and Robert Bloch.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big fan of Robert Bloch. Unfortunately, Robert Bloch is just known for Psycho, but he's a lot more than that.
Uh-huh.
In my research, I found out he was a struggling person in the late 30s, and he couldn't really work a real job, so he decided to try his hand at prose fiction.
Mm-hmm.
He was really bad at it.
Oh.
And over time, he became good at it.
Yeah.
So he was reading the Weird Tales with H.P. Lovecraft and Robert E. Howard, who surprisingly wrote a couple of Cthulhu mythos stories and was in letter writing with H.P. Lovecraft. They had never met, but they wrote letters to each other.
Oh, interesting.
So Weird Tales, the magazine, was going on during the 20s, 30s, and I listened to Horror Babble channel on YouTube, and Ian Gordon reads aloud all these weird tales stories from the 20s and 30s because, of course, they're copyright free.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you have at Burger King yesterday?
Well, that's a loaded question.
Well, you don't have to answer. It was a joke, son.
Well,
That boy's as sharp as a bowling ball.
yeah, well, I'm always running with the gazelles, David. You know that.
Well, that's running pretty fast.
Yep. So, I went to Burger King yesterday because they told me when I pulled into the drive-thru with my friend, they said, Burger King, you rule. And because of that, my friend Jim bought me a Whopper value meal because I had done his garden. And so it was a free burger, really.
It's a garden of earthly delights there, John.
Yeah. You know, cute is I went to Harmon's store, grocery store yesterday, and outside there was a sign that said, please keep our campus clean. Well, that's like the University of Utah saying that they're a vegetable garden. Total wacko stuff, you know. But none as great as Burger King, where I rule.
Well, it's just a recent marketing campaign.
Yeah. And vegetables did you get high on yesterday?
What did I get high on yesterday?
Yeah. Jalapeno peppers and green beans.
Well, my solution to the Whopper actually is, so I just buy a can of refried beans
Yeah.
and between two pieces of wheat bread, and if I had it on me in my car, I'd put lettuce and tomatoes, so it'd be a complete vegetarian Whopper. Wheat
Sounds good.
wheat bread, refried beans, lettuce, tomato. The beans will give you a little bit of protein. Then you put some hot sauce on top, and you're good to go.
I get it.
So,
Delicious.
well,
I used to eat that kind of stuff.
when? Okay, go ahead, tell me.
That type of stuff.
You used to eat that type of stuff, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and what happened?
What happened is I got.
You got the craving for Burger King again.
That's right.
So you drank the soda along with the Burger King value meal.
I did.
Yeah. And then you got the red meat in your digestive system.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And also the French fries. But you know, the drink was mostly ice, so I didn't get much soda, thank God. And then today I went to Alberto's. A friend took me to lunch, and I had a carne asada burrito.
Yeah.
Refried beans in it, and I drank horchata. So I mixed it up.
You're living it up, John. So you can get a spinach or tomato tortilla instead of the flour tortilla.
Oh, well, I don't know if Alberto's has that, but I'll ask
That,
next time.
look, you just ask them. They always give you the flour tortilla as the default.
Right, the default, yeah.
So just ask them if they have a spinach tortilla or tomato tortilla, and that's gonna be a lot healthier for you.
Thank you.
So just do that next time.
I will.
All right. So this year, I think I went to Del Taco once and bought like 5 hard shell tacos. And that's the only restaurant I've been to this year.
Really? So you're proud of that?
Well, it's not that I'm proud. It's just like, I can't eat dog food at these fast food restaurants. The red meat thing, especially if you're over 60, it's just gonna kill you.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you've been speaking to McGruff.
Well, I guess the phone died. Well, that's that. Another entertaining phone call from John Lovins that always ends up with talking about fast food. So, I play Entropia Universe. Hello, Pharaoh. Thanks for making it through another video. And Harag watches my videos too. And I don't know how you guys even watch this stuff. It's so boring. So what you should do is just play the video, and then in the last minute, I'll talk about Entropia Universe. Pharaoh talks to me in the morning. We're both working hard, and Harag and I are sometimes the only people on, like, from United ETA. Entropia, let's see, United Entropia Trade Association. So, I talked to my brother John about literature, and then it just ends up talking about Burger King. What? Jeez. Now you know what I suffer through.